What is up, homies? My name is Felix, and today I will be bringing you yet another LMMS video. This is another one that I've been getting quite a few requests for, so today in this video I will be making a Lil Peep type beat inside of LMMS. So yeah, let's just get straight into it, but before we start the video, I just want to say you guys should totally follow my Instagram and my SoundCloud, and also you should check out the playlist of songs that I've produced down in the description below. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that stuff. And yeah, now let's get into the video. So the first thing that I should say before we start the beat is that I actually recorded the guitar myself, and I recorded the guitar into Audacity because I wanted to just use all free stuff. Using Audacity was kind of a struggle because I don't really use Audacity very often, but basically what I did was I just recorded everything into Audacity. I clicked the record button and played my guitar and stuff, and it took a while, but I just kept recording. And then once I got it to where I liked how it sounded, I just cut out that part, pasted it in a new track, and then I saved it, and then I played another guitar part over it. So basically I have two guitar parts. I have a main one, and then I have like a little backup melody. Okay, so because I feel like there's going to be at least a few of you who ask me how I play the guitar part, I'm about to show you right now. I put a capo on the 2nd fret, and then I made this little shape here, and went like, and then I switched over here, and then I switched up here. So yeah. And then the other guitar melody was kind of just something that I played like down here. I just went from the key that I was playing in here, and then I did like a little solo kind of thing down here. So yeah, it was kind of a complicated process, but for anybody who is not going to be recording their own guitar, which I would assume would be like a decent amount of you, there is a lot of really good Lil Peep type guitar samples on looperman.com if you go over there. Also, there is a couple good guitar plugins like Ample Guitar or DSK Guitar, I think it's called. Both of those will work perfectly fine as well, but for this one I'm just going to be using my own guitar that I recorded. Alright, so here in the song editor we have this one beat and bassline editor. I'm just going to add two little sample tracks because I want to pull in my samples that I recorded. So I'm going to go to where my samples are at, and then once I'm here, I'm going to create two of these and pull this in, and then pull this in. I'm going to eventually make this double, but what I want to do is find the tempo, and I think the tempo is like 114. So if we drag it down to here, this should line up like almost perfectly, which I think it does. And then we can go in and listen to it. But yeah, so I'm just going to go here, select this, and copy it over, and now we're going to have two. So yeah, basically here we have our samples dragged in, and now we're going to go into the beat and bassline editor. We're going to delete this. And now for this one, the drums are pretty important, specifically because we're going for that Lil Peep sound, so we want like some nice trap drums. If you go and search Lil Peep drum kit, I think either on r/drumkits or just on Google, you'll probably be able to find this drum kit. I don't exactly know where I found it, but I know that I did find it, and it has some good Lil Peep type sounds. So I'm going to go through here in this drum kit and pick some. Okay, so I just went through my drum kits. I found a bunch of drums that I like. There's this kick which I got from a different drum kit than the Lil Peep drum kit, but then I got this one from that drum kit, this one's from that drum kit, this one too, and then this is a different hi-hat, but it's a very, very basic hi-hat. And then this snare is from one of my drum kits that is not out yet, but this snare you could replace with literally any other snare and it would sound good. Okay, so I'm going to start working on the drums now and make this big. So I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to click that 3 times, and I'm going to put the claps in our usual spot like this, and then I'm going to fill in the hi-hats like this, and I'm going to go into the piano roll and copy them over. So control select them and then shift click them, and now shift click it again, and now we can get rid of these ones and then shift click it one more time, and now we have the full thing, and now it'll sound like this. And we're going to turn this up a little bit because it's kind of quiet. Now what we're going to do is the open hat. So I think that sounds good. It's a pretty basic pattern, but it's fine. And I'm going to put in the snare. I think I'm going to put it like this. So yeah, I think that sounds good like that. And now I'm going to put in the kicks actually. Okay, so basically I put the kicks in like this, and now the whole thing together should sound like this. So one more important thing I think for a beat that's at a slower tempo like this is to make hi-hat rolls. So you want the hi-hat rolls to not be too crazy and not be too, like meaningless as well. So the way that I like to do it a lot of times is I'm going to change my snap to grid to I think 1/24th, and then I'm going to zoom in and then go like this. Okay, so basically right here, I just turn the velocity down on this one, and I'm going to turn the velocity down on these rolls as well, but not on this one here. And then I'm going to turn this off so that I can play it and it won't mess me up. Now what I'm going to do, because I want a triple roll here, I'm going to go and do 16th again. And now it'll be 3. And now I'm going to change this back and do another one of these here. And then I'm going to do one that goes down like this, and we'll see how this sounds. So yeah, I think that sounds good, and now let's listen to it with the rest of the drums. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty good actually so far. Let's hear it with the samples and everything. Something that would be probably more Lil Peep like would be to take out the second guitar and just have this. But I like how the second guitar sounds. I like to usually add a little top melody over my, main guitar parts. So yeah, let's go back into the beat and bassline editor because we have the 808 to still do. And I might change out this 808, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go in and place one here, and then I'm going to do copy, make a new one, paste, and then boom, reset this, clear all notes. And now I'm going to place this in here, and I'm going to mute this. And we want to make this 808 the same note that's playing in the bass melody. So we're going to get rid of that too. So we want to listen for that note. And what I'm going to do is go in here, change this to C because I'm pretty sure it's C. Do this, and then do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to pitch this up a lot. So I'm going to just play this. Okay, so basically what I did is I pitched the 808 up a lot so you can hear like the true note that it plays, and then I figured out the same notes that the guitar is playing by matching them up. So as you can hear, even though it's very high, they go well together. So now what we're going to do is pitch this back down to a reasonable octave, and now that we have this, I'm going to pitch this one down and then this one down as well, I think. So these ones are kind of low, but that's kind of just the way the sample goes. But now I'm going to take this actually. I'm going to do copy, and then I'm going to put this back in here and get rid of this one. And now I'm going to put in the kick pattern in here. Okay, so basically I just copied the kick pattern, and now what I'm going to do is stretch all these out. So we're going to go to 1 by 1 and then go back to last note, and then I can zoom in and then drag this to here and put it down. And now basically I'm going to do that with all of these. Okay, so I just stretched out all these notes so that they fit properly, and then I pitched some of these up and I added a little one here so that it gives it some more bounce to it, and then the whole thing together should sound like this. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty okay so far. I might actually change this 808 out like I said. I'm gonna see how a different one sounds actually. Okay, so basically I just changed the 808 to a classic little spins 808, and now I'm going to go into here and try to get rid of some of that muddiness. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go and add an equalizer on this. So I'm going to cut out some of the bottom end. So now I'm just going to go and add some other effects on this. I'm going to add some reverb. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into the beat and bassline editor, go to the spins 808, and I'm going to, oh, I forgot to add this when I added it as well, but I'm going to turn this attack up a little bit. So I think that sounds pretty good so far. Now I'm going to kind of do the same thing with this one. Basically the way I'm pulling up so I'm not using an effects mixer for this one. I'm actually, well, I have an effects mixer up, but I am not using it right now. I'm actually going into the sample track thing. I'm just clicking on it, and it pulls up this effects chain thing, and then you just go add effect, and then it pulls it up really easily. Okay, so I just added the reverb to the second guitar, and now I'm going to put an EQ on it as well. And I'm kind of going to try to make like a telephone filter, so I'm going to go like this and see how it sounds. Okay, so I got the EQ to about where I want it to sound. It kind of looks like this, and now I think we're going to add a chorus effect on it, if I can find a good one. Okay, so I just added this tap chorus slash flanger thing, and I put the settings kind of to look like this. I basically just turned the frequency up a little bit, turned the depth up, and then I kept this pretty much the same, and then I just turned the wet level up, and I'll turn the dry level up too. So now it's going to sound like this. So yeah, basically what I did there is I just put the chorus above the equalizer and reverb, because basically if it's below, that means the chorus is going to go onto the reverb, and we want the reverb to go onto the chorus. It's kind of a weird, complicated thing, but basically I want my equalizer at the bottom so that it encompasses everything. So yeah, now that we have this, we're pretty much almost close to being done. The next thing that I'm going to do is just play this with the beat and see if there's anything else that I want to change. What I think I want to do is actually make this wider maybe, so I want to see how it sounds if I stereoize both of the guitars. Okay, so I just brought up this stereo matrix on the main guitar. I just went to add effect and then went stereo matrix and clicked this one. And then in the controls, I basically turned these both up to I think 0.5, both these middle ones. And now it sounds a little bit wider, I feel like. And I wanted it to just be a little bit wider because when I had the stereo enhancer effect that makes it really wide, it kind of messed everything up and it made it a little bit more muddy. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done now. The only other thing that I'm going to do is just separate all of the drums into their own beat and bassline editors and then lay out the beat, and then we're pretty much done. Alright, so I just separated all these into their own beat and bassline editor. There's not a lot of sounds for this one, so it didn't take very long. Okay, so one quick thing that I forgot to mention that I did was I put a hard limiter on the master track, and then I turned the decibel limit to like barely just under 0, like 0.125 or something like that. So yeah. But yeah, so I also renamed all of them. I have the main guitar and second guitar renamed, and then all of these as well. So now I'm going to lay out the beat, so we're going to switch to this thing. And I'm going to do control shift over, and now I'm going to do control and move all of these. So what I'm going to start out with is an intro here with both of these like this. So now we have the main guitar playing, and then I'm going to bring in the claps here, and then the hi-hats here as well. So it should go from this and then I'm going to do this thing that I did in the last one, but switch to here, go like that, and now it should add a little transition, kind of a little hesitation. So yeah, I think that sounds good so far. It's a little muddy, but that's not a huge problem because a lot of Peep's tracks were very, you know, like lo-fi-esque and not, you know, like the best of quality. They kind of had that homemade feel to them. So yeah, again, I'm going to copy some of these over, but I'm not going to copy all of them. So I'm going to switch back to here. I'm going to copy these guitars. These guitars are just going to play throughout the whole thing, so we can just do that. And then we're going to do the kick here, the 808 here, the clap, but I'm going to take out the snares and the open hat, so I'm just going to have it like this, and I'm not going to have the second guitar, so it's going to go from this to that. And then I'm just going to, again, copy most of this stuff, so copy it over, and copy this over as well, and then copy this again. And so this is pretty much how we're going to have our pattern sounding, but I'm going to actually delete these ones and then put this in their place to add that little transition thing. And then one final thing that I'm going to do is add a little crash sound. So I have a couple of these little crashes. I think I'm just going to use this one. And basically the way that you add crashes is I'm going to add a new beat and bass line, rename it crash, and then I'm going to go in here and just add it right here. And super easy, just add it in here, and now it'll sound like this. And we want to kind of turn it down a little bit because we don't want to have it being too loud. But yeah, so I'm just going to go in and add this here after every 8 like that. And so yeah, that should be pretty good. And now I'm just going to essentially copy this whole thing over like this. Alright, so now we basically have the entire beat laid out, and that's going to pretty much do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave them down in the comments below. I hope that you were able to learn something from this video. Make sure you check out my Instagram, SoundCloud, playlist of songs I produced, all in the description below if you wish to do that. And I will see you guys next time.
Hey, looking for myself in all these jobs, I'm making bad decisions. Aren't on the shelf, yeah, I'm a gangster, but I still got feelings. Had to watch my stuff, my slime could have been sitting next to catch me slipping. I don't want no help, stay in my own.